Hello, Good Shepherd and Saints Francis and John. I am Father John Lyjana, pastor of Good Shepherd. This week, we prepare with the gospel message for the 28th Sunday of Ordinary Time. This is from the Gospel according to Matthew. Jesus, again, in reply, spoke to the chief priests and elders of the people in parables, saying, "The kingdom of heaven may be likened to a king who gave a wedding feast for his son. He dispatched his servants to summon the invited guests to the feast, but they refused to come. A second time, he sent other servants, saying, 'Tell those invited, behold, I have prepared my banquet. My calves and fattened cattle are killed, and everything is ready. Come to the feast.' Some ignored the invitation and went away, one to his farm, another to his business. The rest laid hold of his servants, mistreated them, and killed them. The king was enraged and sent his troops, destroyed those murderers, and burned their city. Then he said to his servants, 'The feast is ready, but those who were invited were not worthy to come. Go out, therefore, into the main roads, and invite to the feast whomever you find.' The servants went out into the streets and gathered all they found, bad and good alike, and the hall was filled with guests." A key thing to remember is the people who refused to go to the banquet were invited. Initially, the king invited those to fill his banquet hall. And having the title of king implies that he is the source. It is because of him the invited guests have these businesses and these farms and the life that they lead. The joys they have comes from the king, and their salvation depends on the king. It is a gift from the king to them. As a king, he treats his guests, his people, any way he wishes, and he wishes to give them joy and salvation, and prepares a banquet for them on top of this. It seems the people invited got confused. Because of the king and his love for them and wishing to share his joy and give them salvation, he bestowed on them gifts. They took these gifts and after a while forgot where the source of their joy was coming from. It wasn't the gifts that they have, that they were nurturing, the farm, the business, the family. It was the king is the source of all this. And when the king invites him, the king, the source of all their joy, invites them to the banquet, they refuse. But the king is not done bestowing gifts on them. His joy is everlasting, and he wants them to share in this everlasting joy. We do this by practicing the faith. We come to Mass, we receive sacraments, we read spiritual reading, we watch movies, and to hear about the faith, to learn about faith, to get to know the King. In this way, we are anticipating. We can hear this invitation, we get the invitation, and we reply with a yes to the invitation. So we can continue to receive joy from the King, which is the source of our joy today. But we have to listen for this invitation. Many parishes try to invite the invited guests through bulletin announcements, through Mass announcements. We have flock notes. We have EWTN. The Catholic News Agency has a website and news service. All of these things are giving us information about the church today, your parish in which you belong, inviting you to participate, to enjoy, to receive this joy that the King wants you to have. But it gets caught up in our everyday life. We ignore the email we get from the parish. We don't read the bulletin. We don't pay attention when the announcements are made at Mass. We don't switch on EWTN, nor do we go to the Catholic News Agency website for news about our kingdom on earth, the church. And so we are not participating in the church. We are not able to receive the joy that we are being invited to share. And so when you're with your family sometime this week, imagine yourselves as a guest in this parable who refuses the invitation. What could you have done differently? What could you have done to ensure that you continue to realize the source of the joy is the King and not your business or your farm or something else? What can you do to ensure that the joy you have you will continue to receive, and then in the end spend eternity with ultimate joy, ultimate forever? This is the journey of our faith, and this is how we continue, by listening to the church, listening to our conscience, partaking in what the church offers. Our ears remain open to the calling of our King. Once you spend time wondering what you could have done, what you would have done better as a guest, talk about the ways you can better give God thanks and better respond to God's call. Always remember to enjoy the banquet that God calls us to, and remember to thank the host and respond with love. God bless, and see you at Mass.